Welcome back, Central Indiana sports fans, to this week's edition of Strictly Biased with yours truly, Will Retherford. I am here joined today by the legend, Greg Mingelt, who has done a phenomenal job covering Central Indiana sports for the better part of 2 years. I agree with that. We have a couple legends that join us frequently. This week, we're going to talk to the legend, though, the El Presidente of the Central Indiana Sports Report. And Greg, I think this week we're going to cover a preview of the Super Bowl and then maybe some miscellaneous sports conversation. I'm not sure where the conversation is going to go, but we're just going to shoot the shit and see where it takes us.
Yeah, Will, now that football season's over, you and I have kind of been discussing what's next, and I've got a really good idea, and we're going to be talking about that over the next few days. And I think we have to retool after football season. Yep. And but for today, we're just going to talk some Super Bowl and some other stuff, because I saw your favorite baseball player is no longer on your favorite team, so that's got to hurt.
I couldn't step all over Paul Tipton in the MLB report, so I don't know what we're going to do yet. I'm curious to see. I have not heard what your idea is up to this point, but I'm excited to hear about it. And yes, Brendan Donovan was traded from the Cardinals 2 days ago for a haul of prospects and picks.
And your eyes still look puffy from all the crying.
Logically, it's one of those decisions in baseball that, like, it makes sense. He's 28 years old. He's still got arbitration years left. By the time they're ready to compete, he's going to be 31, getting a contract extension. I don't think that tells the whole story. I think it's difficult to trade a clubhouse leader and a player that did everything the right way, played the game the right way. Like, I understand it from a business perspective and a business move. I just don't think sometimes that's always the best practice in reality.
Yeah. Gotcha.
We'll see. Obviously, I think it's one of those where it's going to take 2 or 3 years and see these prospects in St. Louis before you can really, I think, pass judgment on a trade. Baseball's a lot like that. I think sometimes it's difficult in the immediately after a trade to grade it. I think it takes some time to kind of let it settle before
in baseball.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where this Cardinals team goes. I don't think they're going to be worth a shit this year, to be quite honest with you. I don't think they're going to be really good for a few years. But
yeah, we all know who's winning the Central anyway. That's
yeah,
Cincinnati Reds. So.
Well, I know that's not who I was going to talk about, but I do think that we do need to have some Geno Suarez conversation before we're done today.
All right, well, let's talk about all this other stuff here coming up, but we need to talk about the Super Bowl.
Greg, I've already said a little bit. I've got a lot more to say. First, what do you want to know?
Last time we talked, you were pretty sour on the Super Bowl. Has your mind changed at all with a week to think about it?
No, the only people that give a shit about this Super Bowl live in New England or the Pacific Northwest. I don't think America cares. The media hype and conversation around it's been low. I'm sorry, I can't get up for this one. I have just no interest in watching this game at all. I kind of wish the season was just over rather than have to watch these two teams play.
I think it's going to be a good game.
I think it's going to be a good game.
I don't really care who wins very much. I can't remember thinking that often in Super Bowls. But I do think it's going to be a good game, and it'll be interesting going forward. Will we look back at this later and say, hey, Drake May became this, or, oh, Sam Darnold became that, or, maybe it's more interesting in hindsight than we're giving it credit for.
It could be. I would say that if I'm rooting for a team, it's probably the Seahawks. I still don't like the Patriots too much.
Yeah,
I would prefer that. I just don't think they're a great representative for the AFC. Honestly, I don't think they really deserve to be there. I think they've gotten a lot of breaks go their way in this playoff run, and I get that luck plays a role in it, but it just doesn't feel right.
They're pretty good.
They're the third best team in the AFC.
Yeah, they're not a Super Bowl team, but they're pretty good.
I think they will get exposed for not being a Super Bowl team. The thing that is unfortunate is they're playing against an offense that, while they have performed incredibly well in the playoffs, I'm not sure that they're great either. I think they're really good. that's just how this year's gone. I don't think there's any team that's like just out of this world incredible, and we're going to have to pay the price for it. I think it's going to be a relatively low scoring game. I think it's going to be kind of cagey, a lot of defense in this one. I think special teams will play a big role in terms of field position, ability to convert long field goals. I kind of like the Seahawks in that regard because I really like Jason Myers as their kicker. The weather's going to be fair. It's going to be in San Francisco, so it's going to be comfortable football weather. I don't think that you're going to have to expect a ton of extracurriculars the way that you saw in the AFC Championship. But
Yeah,
Greg,
you never know in Northern California in the winter, but you're right. Probably good weather.
it could be rainy, it could be cloudy, but it's going to be comfortable to say the least.
Number one, I'm sure you've thought a little bit about the game. What's a key to watch, and who's going to be the Super Bowl MVP?
My key to watch is going to be Seattle's defensive front seven against Drake May. I think that's where if the Seahawks can get to May and make him uncomfortable early and often, I don't think that the Patriots have any chance. I think the Seahawks offense is better than the Patriots, but they're going to rely on that defense to get stops. Seattle's front four has been probably the best front four the entire year. I expect them to show up, especially against Will Campbell. I, I don't really love him as their left tackle. I think he was drafted way too high for his physical makeup and traits. He's been okay, but this playoff run, he's just kind of been exposed a little bit. So
Right.
I expect Seattle's defensive line to make Drake May awfully uncomfortable. Super Bowl MVP, that's not Darnold. I'm probably going to say Jackson Smith and Jigba if I had to go somebody because I think the Seahawks are going to win. And a non-quarterback has to play awfully well to get it. But I think if there is a wide receiver that is worthy of it based on how he's performed so far this year, I think Jackson Smith and Jigba could get his hands on an MVP trophy.
Yeah, I think he may be the best receiver in the league. I said that about halfway through the season, and you kind of mocked me, but he might be the best. And when it comes to route tree, when it comes to athleticism, I completely agree with you. You know who else is really, really good, Will?
Who?
Christian Gonzalez.
I agree with that. I think that I'm interested to see how New England matches up there. I'm not sure they're going to shadow him. I would imagine that Gonzalez will be there a lot, but Smith and Jigba's calling card is that he's able to play both the slot and out wide. So if they don't want the Christian Gonzalez matchup, I think the Seahawks are going to be able to kind of exploit the Patriots linebackers who, while are athletic, I just don't think they're good enough to cover Smith and Jigba. I really don't. And I expect him to feast because I think Kubiak is thinking the exact same thing I'm thinking, where if we can avoid the confrontation and the playing 60% of the game against Gonzalez, we're going to do that, especially when we've got Cooper Kupp who can also go outside. Anybody, really, for that matter. Just bring JS into the slot, bring him inside the tackles, make him play that way. And I think Seattle's going to be awfully successful.
Gonzalez is more than just a shutdown corner. He's a playmaker. That's what I like about him. I think here's what I see happening. I could be completely wrong because I've been completely wrong this entire postseason, but I think it's going to be a completely defensive game. I think it's going to be a lot of running, and so there's going to be a lot of running clock. I think we're going to see a 7-3, 10-7 halftime score. Something like a 2017, 17-13, something in there, final score.
That's kind of what I was thinking too.
And I like Vrabel a little bit in the matchup head-to-head, and I think he's going to devise a scheme that involves Christian Gonzalez being the playmaker that makes the difference in this game.
This is the first time I think this postseason that we've disagreed.
It might be.
I think it is.
I think it's a toss-up. Just man for man, you probably take Seattle, but I just have a feeling the Patriots are going to make the plays.
That's kind of been what they've done all year. I don't think there's any fallacy in believing that they have that capability because they obviously do. I just think this is where the horses run out. I think they've had a lot of breaks go their way in terms of really poor quarterback play that they've been forced to play against. Their offense has been incredibly inefficient. Drake May really has not played well at all outside of being able to scramble. I just think that catches up. It's really hard to play with fool's gold that long and not eventually kind of get got.
It's not. I don't trust the Patriots offense at all, especially against
the Seahawks have played two of the, what do you want to say, probably 6 teams that we thought had the best chance to win the Super Bowl. And I would say the Patriots, the only team of the 3 that they've beat that I think we both thought had any chance of winning it was probably the Broncos. I think in terms of Houston and Chargers, for my list, I had the Patriots as like the least likely to win. And then I had the Texans and the Chargers right above them. So they've gotten the benefit of the playing the lower caliber teams that were in the dance.
There is zero question. They're probably the luckiest team in the history of the Super Bowl. They were lucky the entire year. Their schedule, they were playing against injured guys. They were all kinds of stuff went their way. And it even got more absurd in the postseason. There's no question they lucked their way right into the Super Bowl. But that doesn't mean they're not going to win it.
Greg, one player that I want you to keep an eye on for the Patriots for Super Bowl MVP is Christian Ellis, their linebacker, because I think if they win, he's going to have a huge game.
It's a good call. All right, well, I'm going officially 21-20 Patriots.
I'm going 2017 Seahawks.
We're still thinking about the same, even though it's going to be a blowout. You know that now, right?
It'll be 35-10 Seahawks probably. Yeah, if it's a blowout, the Seahawks won. The Patriots are not blowing the Seahawks out. I don't think there's any way that's happening.
Unless Darnold throws 6 picks, which is, possible.
He can.
We watched him do it last year in the playoffs.
Yep, we did. Greg, we kind of briefly hinted at it in the first 3 minutes, but I would like to break down this Brendan Donovan trade a little bit. I know that the Mariners are a team that you've kind of, I think, rooted for a while outside of the Reds. If you had an AL team, it would be the Mariners. And I think, Greg, the Mariners got their missing piece. They got the player that is going to elevate them to another level that while they made the divisional series last year, they made the ALCS, didn't they? Yeah.
Who?
Mariners made the ALCS. Yeah. The Mariners went to the ALCS last year, and I still think their roster had room for improvement. Brendan Donovan is the type of player that elevates your franchise and your roster. I don't know if he's somebody that you build around. He's a great supplemental piece. He's going to give you probably 285. He's going to give you 15 home runs, 75 RBIs, be a good on-base guy, able to play 6 positions. He's a ball player's ball player. They're going to love him. You're going to fall in love with how hard he plays, how he hustles, the long flowing hair out of the helmet. Helmet's always going to be flying off. I expect him to have 40 doubles in that stadium. I think it's just handcrafted for his swing. He's a right field line power type guy. If you're the Mariners, I think regardless of what you gave up, you have to be absolutely ecstatic to add that bat and that versatility to your lineup. The Cardinals, they kind of get another pitching prospect, a top 100 prospect, the switch pitcher, said Hinte, I believe is his last name, how it's pronounced. He's from Curacao. He's a very intriguing prospect in terms of his ability to throw from both ways. I think he's going to throw predominantly from the right side this year, maybe exclusively from the right side. Greg, I see the rest of their pieces as guys that have an opportunity to probably make a roster. They're going to get 2 Comp B picks out of this trade in the mid to late 30s and 40s, or where these second round picks are going to build from. And I think that this is indicative of the St. Louis Cardinals kind of turning the page and saying, we're in full rebuild mode. And I kind of expected it. They kind of needed to do it. It's unfortunate for me, as Brendan Donovan is my favorite Cardinal ever. I will just go ahead and say that. And a team full of incredible athletes that have performed over the course of my life, he definitely takes the cake. I'm curious to see how this roster performs. I think they might be the worst 40-man roster in the MLB, and they're the number 2 pipeline in the league. So that could make for an exciting year. I think J.J. Weatherhold is the real deal. Time will tell.
A lot of farm watching.
I think it is going to be a lot of farm watching. But when Cardinals teams are designed to be bad, they seem to be good. So maybe for whatever reason, this roster just finds a way to get the job done. And I think what could be considered a relatively competitive but weaker NL Central. I think there's a lot of good teams. There's no great teams. But, Greg, one team I do want to talk about, I think is a really good signing for them, to be quite honest with you, and that's the Reds and Eugenio Suarez being reunited. I think you have to like this one.
It's probably a good trade. I just can't stand guys who strike out that much. Just can't stand it.
I agree. I see that as a fan. Like you can see the frustration when you just know a guy's going.
Series when they didn't score a run, and he left about 48 runners on base. That was the last for me in Suarez. I can't stand it.
I think that he's one of those feast or famine type of hitters where if he is able to, and playing in a ballpark where he's going to have a great hitter-friendly opportunity for 81 games, I expect him to hit 40 home runs again. Hit 49 between the Diamondbacks and the Mariners. I expect that to continue. I don't think the analytics do him justice. I don't think they serve as impact. I think just having a bat in that lineup that kind of needs power. I think if you could say that there was a weakness of that Reds team last year, it was their inability to hit home runs. And now they have that. I think that lineup is awfully intriguing with De La Cruz, Matt McClain going to be back healthy for an entire year. I think you like to see Spencer Steer continue to develop. I don't know, Greg. I think this Reds team might be the best team in the NL Central on paper now, with the Brewers trading Freddie Peralta.
I think you're right. I think this is the year. Now, if Matt McClain is 2025 Matt McClain, there's a huge question mark about whether that's true. But I think a year of recovery, if he's anywhere near what I expect, I think the Reds can win the Central.
I think this team is one of those that is going to be trying to buy an outfield bat at the trade deadline. Somebody that they can reliably get powder from. I kind of did too, and I expected them to maybe address that in free agency. My caveat to the Reds being the best team in the Central is if this Pirates team can generate any offense whatsoever, I think their pitching staff is top 3 in the league probably in terms of their starting rotation, and they have the best pitcher in the world. So,
yeah, it's a possibility. I don't think it's absurd at all that the Pirates are good. They have a couple of bats in that lineup, so if you get a couple more, it might be good enough.
I think so, and the Cubs will be good again probably. I expect them to compete. We'll see with that Kyle Tucker, him departing, how they look. Pete Crow Armstrong was damn near unplayable in the last half of the season after he went in fuego there and before the All-Star break. I think Suzuki, you like his bat and prospectus. I think Dansby, Nico Horner, they have the talent to be awfully competitive. I think the Cardinals on paper are probably the 5th best team. They're probably the worst team in this division, and I expect the other 4 to be competing to win the division and possibly a wild card spot.
You know what that means, right?
The Brewers are going to win the division.
No, the Cardinals are going to win the division. That's why they always overperform when I expect them to be no good. Every time I think, oh, finally, the Cardinals aren't going to be good. Get rid of Albert Pujols. Oh, they're finally going to be not good. No, they're always good.
They might have been better after Pujols left than they were with him.
They were. That was what I mean. And it's been my whole life like this. You think they're going to get worse, and they don't. Good managing does that. I don't know about if they have good managing now, but they have had through the years for sure.
They did a great job of developing pitching too. A lot of pitching talent came out of that Cardinals organization for the 2010s. Unfortunately, that's stopped now, but we'll see. Maybe it'll improve. They've gotten a lot of arms. They've acquired a lot of arms. So you hope you've thrown enough shit at the wall that it stuck, and you've had a couple frontline starters moving forward.
Will, this is going to be a little bit of how our new podcast is going to go. We're going to make a lot of predictions and see who's right going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Do the Pacers make a major trade, meaning anybody who plays a significant role on this team?
No, I don't think they do. I think they just hold the fort down. I think if they make a move, it's in the offseason. I don't expect them to do anything right now. The only player that I see them potentially trying to get would be like Walker Kessler from the Jazz. I think he's somebody that could be in play if they do decide to make a deadline trade. Greg Asswipe Doyle of the Indy Star decided to put out that the Pacers were targeting Giannis. How does that guy have a fucking job? I don't get it. How many times do you have to just be a prick to keep your job?
I've been saying the same thing, Will. I've been saying the same thing. It's the perfect fit. It's the perfect marriage of what the Bucks need and what the Pacers would want, but it's just never going to happen.
I don't think it will either. But if that tunnel rat sniffed it out, I guess there has to be some validity to it. To me, I think that there has to be some truth.
He would immediately be the greatest player we've ever had.
He would also immediately make that team the best team in the East next year. If they don't win the finals.
Yeah. All right, next question. Does James Harden make the Cavaliers better or worse?
Is he going to get off the plane?
Oh, yes. He said he's excited about it.
I mean, I think that they're going to get worse, to be quite honest with you. I think it's so difficult, though, because it's Garland with his injury history. How productive was he going to continue to be? It's interesting to me that they're going to marry two incredibly ball-dominant guards in Donovan Mitchell and Harden.
This isn't the 1980s, man. You can't do that.
I struggle to see where that's going to bode well for them.
Hey, since last season, Milwaukee and Cleveland, I think, have just completely sabotaged themselves.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the Bucks, they did the Pacers a favor in a couple ways by signing Miles Turner. The Pacers, that's what they've done. They kill teams. I mean, they got Tom Thibodeau fired. They got the Knicks to completely kind of rebuild how they use their roster, and their roster stayed relatively the same, but they had to change.
Yeah.
Yes. They've now killed the Cavs in a year that everybody thought the Cavs were the golden child of the NBA.
I did.
Never did. I never did think that they were as good as the Pacers were on paper, and that was proven to be true.
I did. I thought they were going to win the East.
They still could.
The Pacers stole their soul.
That's what this team has done. That is exactly what they've done.
And let me tell you, Will, if they can land Boozer or Wilson or DeBonta in particular, because they would fit in so well with what they need, but also Peterson, it would. We could have the glory days of the Pacers ahead of us. My question, I don't think that Peterson elevates this roster much further than where it's at now. To me, that's one of those. Eventually he does. He's a franchise cornerstone player.
You're not. This team is built to win now with the contracts. They're not built to win in 5 years. They need somebody to complement Andrew Nembhard, to complement Aaron Nesmith and Siakam.
And Boozer will only be 19, but let me tell you, man, he is ready right now.
He's a grown-ass man. I still think he is going to be the best player from this draft class.
He sees the floor like very few. He makes all the right plays. sweet stroke,
He also
rebound,
runs the floor
plays hard,
really well.
does it all, man. Does it all. But Wilson ceiling off the charts. Off the charts.
I would really like if this Pacers team got like the third pick, because I think they'd be sitting in the driver's seat to get a Cam Boozer, who honestly is who they probably need.
Or DeBonta or Wilson, and no matter what it is, it's a win, I think.
Yeah.
It's right now you just throw them in a hat and pick one out. I think they're all three special.
It's a great draft class to have a top 5 pick. I hope they get the number 1 pick so they can have their run of the litter. Whoever Kevin Pritchard thinks is the best player for this organization, that's who I hope that they're able to get but I'd be happy with any of them. Other than Peterson, who is probably the best talent, I'm just not as worried as much about talent, I think, in this iteration of the Pacers as I am who can play next year.
Well, I completely agree with you. But if they end up with Darren Peterson, I'm going to be really excited.
Yep.
Last question. IndyCar in Washington, D.C. this summer, will it be a success?
Yeah, I think it will. I think that they've made strategic moves over the last 5 years to benefit tracks that help complement this series to the best of its ability. I expect that they've decided that this is the right move for them. I'm really interested to see how the race looks. Obviously, it'll be the first time they've run it. They're going to have to do something almost to level the playing field from Palou, because I'm just not sure there's a driver in the circuit.
Man, the playing field's so level by the cars that you just, whatever happens, man.
He's just that good.
Yeah, but Elijah and I have talked about this on the IndyCar report. As dominant as he was in wins, almost every single one of those races was really competitive.
It was. I expect that I think Scotty Mac's going to have a big rebound year. I thought it was strange that he wasn't kind of in the fold more than he was last year. I expect Joseph Newgarden to also perform much better. I don't know. Who's to you, who is the guy waiting, trying to dethrone Palou?
Probably Pato Ward would be my guess.
That's kind of who I think too.
Yeah, but I think there are several. I think that
I think Palou's just that damn good.
Yeah, I agree, and let's watch it. I'm here for it.
I'm shocked he's still here. I thought he would absolutely have been in Formula One by now, but that just goes to show how worthless of a series that is.
It is so worthless, Will. Will, stage 22 is serving meatloaf. I'm out of here.
Biscuits and gravy at the Creekside Chateau, so I'm out of here too.
Nice. Happy dining, everybody. Thanks so much, Will.
Yep. See you guys.
Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.